Hello, it's been a while. I apologize, but just life events. I can go on and speak for hours what was going on, but I'd just like to say I had a dream the other night, 2 nights ago, in which Donald Trump was, his security detail was attacked. And he had like 20 security guards, and the other side had like 20 security. And there was tension between the security details. And they were inside a building. Like part of his detail was down in a hallway, and I think Trump was in another room, and he was walking. And it was almost like Bobby Kennedy cutting through the back of the kitchen. You remember in LA when he was assassinated. And the tension gets so high in the dream that somebody fires off a gun. And then a lot more people fire, at each other. And then then somebody said, "Calm down, stop, stop, stop." And then it started up again. And it was all this gunfire and things like that. And they went into the room where Donald Trump was, and he put up his hands like to stop or something. He gets shot in the back with a shotgun. And that's that. That's the dream. I went and dowsed it later on, what it meant and things like that. And basically, it's a warning dream. It doesn't mean it will happen, but it's a warning. He must take care. He shouldn't let down his guard, maybe double or triple his security. I don't know where he's going to get it, but it's a very dangerous situation we are in, the whole country. This lawlessness by the technocrats is basically what it is, and by the Khazars and stuff like that. They want us to start to draft again and go to war in the Ukraine and, destroy Russia. It's just nonsense. But also I had a dream about a year ago, I don't think I put it up, where I was told, in the dream I was basically waiting to start work with a couple people on my shift from earlier in my life. And one of the supervisor came over, and that would be my higher self, my connection to the galactic. And she came over and said, "I just want to give you guys the heads up, a decision has been made." So at that point, a significant decision has been made. That was the key, the word significant. And then basically it had to do with the reorganization of America. That's how I interpret it. And that a big decision, whether to have earthquakes, wars, and things like that, has been made to go forward. And this is almost like another way of saying, the archangels or God or any of those terms is the universes. And I went and dowsed the dream later, and I asked, well, what is significant? I said, was 9/11 significant? And it said no. And I said, was World War II significant? And it said no. And I said, is the explosion of the volcano back in the 1800s of Krakatoa, right? Krakatoa in Indonesia. And that's where it blacked out all the light, the sunlight, and it was worldwide, all the ash and things like that. And it had a big impact some impact on the crops. I don't know the details. And it said yes, something like that. And I did have the volcano dreams. You remember a while back I had Flagstaff, had the volcanoes. It's called Mount Humphreys or San Francisco Peaks. That's the names. And around there's more volcanoes in that whole area. There's volcanoes. You don't see them. They've been dormant. And they did some seismic pickup of movement and things. But my point is, in that dream, I go, it's imminent, the explosion. And it's already, all the lava is shooting up. People were just going crazy. People were going crazy. And I had a friend of mine, I was talking to him, and somebody said, go watch Greenland. It's a silly, stupid movie. But I recorded it the other night, and it's kind of like that too. The people are just going crazy. It was in that movie. It wasn't a volcano. It's a meteor is coming down on Earth, and it broke up into pieces, and it was like blowing up buildings and cities and stuff like that. And there's a part two, I guess. So they go up to Greenland, and there's an underground facility for the continuation of government. That cog, what they have. And if you're not on the list, you're on your own. That's basically what it is. And it's very few people are taken to cog to survive. And they're usually people with job skills. But in real life, people like Dick Cheney and just like worthless people like that are on the cog list. And, technically, this was before he was vice president, he was on that list. So how do you get on that list? It's for certain people. And they do have job-skilled people they need. But you know what they're going to do? All those little special people, they go underground, and when the doors, big things close, they're going to fill it up with concrete and seal them in. Everybody on the outside is just we're going to seal the tunnels. Anyway, I wanted to get that on Trump. I think it's a warning. I think he should be really, really careful. I mean, I don't know why he's going down to get arraigned. I know it's the law, but he's a big target. This is a very difficult time for the country, and basically, it's really tense. Why is he traveling out in the open? You think they could go to the city, could move the court somewhere to do the arraignment, in the basement, that's protected. He shouldn't be traveling out in the open. I don't think it's like his security detail in the dream was taking casualties. They were getting hit. They were dying. They were getting killed and stuff. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's probably, they put out this kind of information to people who can pick it up, and I'm sure other intuitives and things of that nature have had something similar dream. And most likely, it's either A or B. A, it's going to happen. B, the outcome is not good. You know what I mean? It's really, so maybe he should rethink this. I don't know if he has. Anyway, I had another dream, and it was very disturbing. I don't know what it all meant, but it had to do with Satan attacked me when I was like 16 or 17, and I was in Rome, Italy at the time, and I don't know what it all means. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it, and it's something buried deep into me, and as for protection, our psyche, we have an ability to put a Band-Aid on it to not remember things. And we all do this. You don't want to remember something, you will bury it. And then we develop personality quirks that drive other people crazy. But they're just techniques so you can operate in the world with these difficulties, or something bad happened to you. So I kind of know what happened, but I don't remember it. I don't remember anything. At the time, I was going to school there, and I don't know. Rome has a lot of little things about it that were really interesting. It was an evil empire when you think about it. I mean, the United States is the evil empire, and we inherited it from Rome. I mean, it's been continuously put together. You can dispute that, but all our buildings and everything is either from Rome or Egypt in some ways. And that whole Mediterranean was really evil. The Phoenicians and who else was there? They were all, and at the same time, I don't want to go into it, but that history, and coming all the way to the United States, is important about who we are. And most people don't know anything about Rome, Greece, the Phoenicians, all those wars they had. It just went on and on and on, and they were significant. And in there is the soul of the United States, and in our soul is all that history, and we should know it. and it's explaining what's going to happen now, and we're going to defeat it. You know, when I put up a couple of videos, I don't know, whenever that Q thing started, you remember? And I found it, and it was like, I just came across it. One of his first things he said, whether you agree with this or not, it said, this is so old, the corruption on the world, especially the Western world and on the United States. It's so deep and it's so broad. You know, it's going to take a long time to get rid of this beast. And then he goes, it's biblical. This is so big. It's bigger than anything the United States or Europe has ever. World War II is not significant. So we have a couple things. We have the Earth changes, whatever they are, you know, Nibiru, 10th planet, wormwood, or volcanoes, earthquakes, you know, the flip of the axis, which would be Nibiru, the gravitational pull. And already, you know, the poles itself are really wobbly. I mean, they always have been wobbly, but right now it's really getting exaggerated. And so if any of those things happen, plus we have a change of government, right now I would say we're under a communist government. Even though my dowsing said Trump is pretty much in charge of an aspect of the government. And I always have him winning the election. I always have him coming back. And, you know, it hasn't come because, in a way, he won it. He's not coming back until they have a certain victory. And then they also have to tell the American people what has been going on. And I think that's reasonable. I think that's the most reasonable storyline. So for his indictment and everything, I had it like he had a 40% chance of being indicted. And then I did it again. This storyline's not going to go on. You know what I mean? It's very weak. The DA, his backers, what they're kind of doing, I doubt this really helped Trump in the polls. It's like a godsend. It's like he's ahead of the pack by far now. I don't even care what they say on TV, what the poll is. This really helps him out. He's really showing some kind of courage. But there's real danger. It's fraught with danger. And there's really no one in the Republican or in the country to take his place. That said, there's always someone. You know, there's always another person who can step. And it could be, I always had some of his children taking over, like Ivanka. Even though she doesn't want to do it, that means nothing. I get she's going to be president someday. I always got it. I got it for the last 7 years. And sometimes it goes down, the probability, and then it goes back up high. And she could be a compromise candidate, you know, that sort of thing. I also get Donald Trump Jr. is a possibility. All right? And there's a couple of the women like Lauren Boebert. She would be a good vice president. She douses very well. I mean, and I didn't get that. I got that from the evangelical Christian down in I think he's Alabama or something, and he had a dream where Boebert is the vice president, and she's wearing a Glock on her hip. We could get to that kind of situation. The country is probably in a civil war the last few years, easily, but it's getting more pronounced because the players, there's more at stake. It's all the whole surviving of all these factions, their existence is at stake, and that's why it's so overboard, and who they are, what they're doing, and I just wanted to say that. So if anybody knows Trump, you can pass on the dream or not. You know, I'm nobody. I'm out here. It's a nice day today. We're gonna have a beautiful day, and I'll take my dog out for another walk soon. And God bless you all. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. And I apologize for not recording, but I had a lot going on. I've had, this is crazy. I have all these guys trying to kill me. It's like, but they're like weak people. And about 2 months ago, I had a dream. It wasn't a dream. It was actually, you know, that astral projecting. It's out of body. I projected to a meeting in my town, and they had, and the door was ajar, and I kind of recognized the building a little bit, and I kind of opened the jar. In the dream, I was like, you know, looking through, and it's like 35 men, and it's all those little short guys, you know, they're like 5 foot tall and bald, and they're all in the town here, and I knew they were discussing me. That was the whole projection of the whole purpose of the astral projection. And I kind of went into a war footing to respond to it in the prayers I've already mentioned. And those prayers are really powerful. They really work. They're 800 to 1,000 years old, and they can really help you. And also, there's parts of the Gospels, all right? The parts of the Gospels and Psalms are really, really powerful, and you can get what you want. You can heal yourself. You can protect yourself. You know, I don't know what get what you want, but at least get some peace and protection, and remove all those black magic people throw at you. And that's what they're doing. I always felt, you know, those poor 4 students that died in Idaho. You remember that one? I still feel that's like a sacrifice. It was a blood sacrifice. That's what it was. And you notice how it kind of dropped off. No one's talking about it. Because in time, more parts of the story come up. And they don't want to make it public. They just want to put it to bed. That sort of thing. And these sacrifices are all over the country. It's part of the adrenochrome, you know, they're drinking that. It's all the same. It's all Satanism. And I have to find out what that Rome dream was about. But anyway, God bless you. We're going to get through. I'm pretty sure you pray those prayers I said. They will help you, all right? They will help you. And hopefully they're still up. Okay, bye-bye.